Aloha, everyone, and welcome to VOSR International, the voice of Shortwave Radio. I'm your host, Wavecrest Guy. We're going to start out this month with an equipment segment, and this one is going to be about an app for your phone, and it is 3PO. It's a translation app. This app really comes in useful, seeing as though you can pick up a lot of channels and stations on the shortwave that are in a different language, and you can usually, research, find out, go to certain other apps or on the internet, find out where the station's coming from and what language it is. But this app really adds a lot to shortwave listening. So it actually helps you understand, and you can actually listen to these stations even if you don't understand the language. So as you know by now, I do live in Hawaii, so I do get a lot of stations that are in Asia. So there's a lot of Korean stations, a lot of Chinese stations, and I can pick them up and I can identify them by the frequency and using the internet. But it adds depth to be able to even actually just know what they're talking about. So I started, looking around, checking for apps, and seeing if I could find something that would work and make everything more enjoyable to be able to use. So I started out with Google Translate. That seems to be the main one that everybody gravitates to. It's been around for a long time, has millions of downloads. So I went to that one first. But in using it, it didn't take long to tell that it wasn't going to be very good. It wasn't going to be useful. First off, with shortwave, a lot of times you have a noise floor, and sometimes the voice doesn't come over the noise floor good enough to be able to even listen to it, let alone have a phone with an app trying to translate it. Now, I was able to use Google Translate a few times, and I used it. It picked up a couple words, a couple phrases, and so I was able to get an idea sometimes about what was going on and what they were talking about. But so I ended up posting those. I have my Wavecrest Guy YouTube channel, and I posted some on there, and I was able to put down a little bit that I used Google Translate. And a person who watches answered back and said I should try the 3PO app. So, and I'm glad they did, because I went ahead right away, found the app, and downloaded it. Everything went flawlessly, and it's really intuitive, very easy app to use. And the good part about this app is that you don't have to worry about which language it is. It automatically picks up the language, and it'll tell you which language that it is. So that's a really nice feature. And all you have to do is hit translate and hold it up by the speaker, and it'll say searching, and it'll say language verified. Then it'll end up telling you what the language is, and it'll do the translation in a few sentences. And sometimes if there's a longer talk, it'll actually print out a whole paragraph. So from the very first time I used the app, I was able to tell right away that this was going to be much better than Google Translate. It actually picked up and gave me a paragraph right away of what was being talked about, and you're able to follow along really well. And if you just hold it there, it just keeps going, and it keeps translating. So it'll just translate the conversation, what's being said, as it goes right along, usually in paragraphs. You will, of course, get some translations that aren't exact. Not everything translates perfectly. But in general, it works really well, and you're able to follow along, and it makes it much easier to tell what is going on with the conversation. Where with Google Translate, there's really no way that would work good enough. It's really upped the satisfaction you get listening to shortwave. Because you're starting to understand what shows are going on with these other stations, which of course is much easier to tell when you're listening to something in your own language. Now, a lot of stations, the China News Radio and the North Korean radio, they do have English broadcasts. But I did notice in using the 3PO app is that they're not exactly the same broadcast done in English. They are totally different, and so you will get different information out of them. Now, of course, with the communist China and the communist North Korea, there's just a ton of propaganda on there. So, but it is very interesting to listen to what they're saying. And one thing with North Korea, besides, I listen to them quite often, and even when I'm just turning the dial and I cross one of their stations, the music is so distinctive that you know that it's North Korea right away. You can just tell it's a certain type of music that they use, trying to be patriotic and that type of thing. It just catches your ear, and you can tell right away that it's North Korea. Most of the time, when they're talking, though, they will tell a story about someone that lives in North Korea, one of their heroes that invented something. Most of the things that they're talking about, it usually has to do with productivity. They're constantly talking about productivity and how they are improving productivity. Everything that they do revolves around work, and work, of course, for North Korea. So that's one thing they really concentrate on, is trying to keep spirits up, talking about productivity, talk about the change that they're doing, on how good it is for the country, and that's one of the main messages that I get from North Korean radio. Some of the things I've been able to pick up using the 3PO app on NHK Radio Japan. They actually have some sporting events there. There's some sumo wrestling at times. You can hear them talking about current music, and they'll play music, and just in general talk shows. For China Radio International, CRI, you'll get their news. They'll talk about Beijing. They'll talk about different places in China. And even general things like the weather and what's going on if there's some storms going through. And of course, they also are heavily concentrating on talking about productivity and positive things for China. But there's also Vietnamese station, the Voice of Vietnam, and of course North Korea and South Korea. So there's quite a few other stations that you can put this 3PO app to the test and see if it works for you. I really suggest that you do it, because it really opens the door to a lot of other stations, and it's so easy to use. You're just sitting there, and it's kind of like reading a book as it comes along, because it translates as it goes along. So it's a really good app, and it does work really well through static, through the noise level, the floor noise level, and is able to pick it up pretty well. So you can experiment with it. And, it'll probably work good on an SDR too, where you can cut some of the noise down. But it is really a worthwhile app to open the door, because a lot of people will say, well, there's not really a lot on shortwave anymore. But if you can open the door to these other stations out there like this, you can really, really listen to quite a bit more shortwave. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you use the 3PO app. If you use something else, that would be great. And let me know how it works out for you. So let me know at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Now we'll move over to our communications segment. During our premiere broadcast, I had a glitch in my file, and WRMI worked through it and was able to get the whole program out, but not without a couple hitches along the way. But they did get it all out, and they were able to correct the file for the next broadcast and all the rebroadcasts after that. So after that, everything went without a hitch, and we should be good to go from here. So like I said, we don't get any measurements or anything to tell us how many people are listening. So it really depends on the communication we get from our listeners. And I must admit, I am surprised that we did really well with communications, and people reached out, gave us reception reports, told us about the segments they like, even commented about their experiences. So I want to go through some of those now. First off, there's quite a few ways to get a hold of us. You can get a hold of us through email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Directly email there in the subject bar. Just put down your reception report or what segment of the program that you're commenting on. That'll help me sort them out a little bit easier. You can also go to our website at VOSRInternational.com. That's VOSRInternational.com. There's a little a mail icon there. You can click and you can send us an email that way also. Plus, you'll be able to keep up with all the updates that are going to be coming on for each next program. As I was putting the program together, I reached out to people through different mediums. I was on Facebook and YouTube, and I posted a lot of questions and posted what was going on with the program. So I went back through there after the initial broadcast and just to see if anybody had posted there, and they did. There's also a web page, radioreference.com. I posted on there also, and I did get some communication that way also. So a few of the communications that I got, KH6TDF posted that he got good reception, 9+ from New Braunfels, Texas. And then W8WCA from Central Ohio commented that he got good reception using a FTAX 10 with a Hustler GB TV vertical antenna. Also, Black Swan 73 from Indiana on a Belka with a stock whip antenna. Commented that he got good reception. JWT 873 from Woodlands, Canada. Got reception from S8 to S9. T680 from Chicagoland was able to pick up the program on his XH Data D109WB with its whip antenna. Avery K from Lake City, Oregon was able to pick up the program on an RS91A with an MLA 30+ antenna pointed east to west. And he reported good reception. One thing on that on the premiere, that day propagation was not good. So I was surprised that all the people that I did get responses from, some did report good reception, and then others reported a lot of fading in and out. So that did happen on that day, not to mention the glitches. Since then, on the rebroadcasts, there haven't been any issues. Everything has gone really well, and whenever I got a reception report here, as you'll see, they were able to pick up the program pretty easily. I also had a couple people respond from Discord. Horsepower from Northern Kentucky reported good reception. Sun Pilo from Oklahoma City heard the program well. And Guerrero also heard the rebroadcast much better than the premiere broadcast. Then on Facebook, from DX Shortwave Radio listener page, David from Los Angeles reported good reception. On Shortwave Radio Station listening page on Facebook, Charles from Central Ohio reported that he had S9 reception. Fred from Canada over by Niagara Falls was a very strong signal on the rebroadcast. And he mentioned that he had gotten SQLs from WWVH many years ago. Now from the VOSR email and the website, Hector from Uruguay sent a detailed reception report, and he was using a Sanjin ATS with a 405 dipole. And Eduardo from Clearwater, Florida reported good reception. Greg Harris reported from Chicago Heights, Illinois, good reception. on a JCAM R775, and he used a indoor wire antenna for that reception in a window. Juan from Spain via Kiwi SDR said that he had good reception. Radip also reports good reception from India via a Kiwi SDR that was in Milford, Pennsylvania, and that was a detailed reception report. Also, Paul Stringer from Ontario, Canada, via an SDR from Washington, D.C., detailed reception report, and he tried to get on with his regular radio, but that night the propagation wasn't very good, and he wasn't picking a lot up. A lot of fading going on, he said. Patrick R. has been listening to radios for 38 years. He sent in a detailed reception report, and he uses a Micro Telecom Perseus SDR with an outdoor mini whip antenna, and he listened while he was in Austria. Mike B., I want to thank him because he sent me some recordings of the entire broadcast and rebroadcast. Thanks again. Greg from Chicago Heights, Illinois, reported good reception on his ICOM R75 with a wire antenna that he had indoors, hooked up indoors in a window. We also had Juan from Spain via the Kiwi SDR, and that SDR was in Princeton, New Jersey. Radip from India also used a Kiwi SDR through Milford, Pennsylvania to pick up the program. Next we had Paul from Ontario, Canada. He also used an SDR from Washington, D.C., and he sent a detailed reception report. And then Patrick was listening, he's been listening to radio for 38 years, sent a detailed reception report, and he's using a Perseus SDR with an outdoor mini whip antenna, and he listened while he was in Australia. And then I wanted to thank Mike B., who sent me recordings of the broadcast and the rebroadcast. I wanted to thank you very much for that. So that's a good sample of our communications from last month's broadcast, and I want to thank everyone that took the time to do that. It really helps out a lot, and it'll give me some ideas for future broadcasts. Also, and it gives me an idea of how far-reaching this program is going out. So remember, contact us at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. One more time, that's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. And you can also hit our website, and that is VOSRInternational.com. VOSRInternational.com. Now we're going to move on to our equipment segment, and this month's equipment segment is going to be pretty timely because I was just talking about our communications, and the last few that we had there were some reception reports with people using SDR radios. So that is going to be our topic for this month, is SDR radios, which are software-defined radios. Now, you can Google that, Google SDR radio or Web SDR, and you'll get the definition and what it is. Basically, it's a computer type radio, and it could be a dongle too that you can plug into your computer, and then you could hook an antenna up to it. But if you don't even want to go into that far, if you're going to use a web radio, you can Google SDR radio or Web SDR, and you'll get a list of websites that have SDR radios that you can log into, that you can use, and their locations are all over the world. And what makes that nice is, and I'll get to it in a little bit here, I actually use them because propagation was so bad for my premiere broadcast. Here in Hawaii, right around 6 p.m., which is 0400 UTC, right when my program starts, that's when 9455 kilohertz is starting to come in pretty well. But on that day for the premiere, there was a lot of fading here, in and out, so it was really hard to pick it up. So what I ended up doing is I went to kiwidr.com. That's KIWIDR.com. And I went in there, and they have a list of SDRs that I can log into. And I went right to the West Coast because the broadcast does get sent out through Okeechobee, Florida on WRMI. So I wanted to try to be close to there. So I ended up picking a few different locations to see how the broadcast was being picked up out there. And then I was able to move around, and I went through Western United States, especially seems though I couldn't listen to it on my own radio. So that did help me quite a bit. So if you have a program that you know the time that it's on, and a program you want to catch, hopefully this one, and you're in an area that you won't be able to pick up the program, you're just out of range, or propagation is not that good. Basically, this is beaming across North America, and it'll, of course, with the magic of radio, could end out almost anywhere. But in that wide swath is what it really gets broadcast to. So in Europe, that type of thing, out in that area, you're not going to get it. So if you sign into a Kiwi SDR or an SDR on the internet, you're going to be able to pick it up if you choose a location that's in the broadcast path. So the closest to the broadcast, of course, would usually be best. So you can, most of these, when you click on them, it's going to give you the location. Sometimes they even give you what antenna they're using, and that type of thing. But the one that I use mostly is the kiwidr.com. And the nice thing about that also is that they're pretty much all the same. You pick a link, from a location that you want, and a radio is going to come up on your screen. And all you got to do is type in your kilohertz. It's got lower sideband, upper sideband. It's a regular radio. It's got all the same adjustments that you can make there, and it's got the waterfall display, so you can see how the reception is coming in. And it's really nice in that respect. It's very intuitive, very easy. If you don't want to mess with anything, basically just type in your kilohertz and hit go, and it's going to bring it up for you and start playing. It couldn't get any easier. So, and then you can check right away. The very first time that I was trying to listen to the premiere, I picked one. The first one that came up was in Washington, D.C. So I picked up that one, and while I did hear it, there was some fading. So then I went back out and I scrolled down, and there was one in Virginia. I ended up hitting that one, and that one worked pretty well too. But it worked a little bit better, but it wasn't the best. It was still doing some fading. It was definitely listenable though. Then I went out, and then I got one in North Carolina that ended out to work really well, and I was able to listen to the whole broadcast that way. So now, like for reception reports, I like the way everybody has communicated them to me. They said that they used a Kiwi SDR or used an SDR to pick up the broadcast. Because if you're, in Europe or whatever, you're not going to pick up the broadcast naturally. You're going to, have to have an SDR where you're in the broadcast range. So when you tell me that you're using an SDR, then they usually gave me the location where the SDR was located at. And I was able to tell the reception that way. Otherwise, if you tell me you're in Italy, and you don't tell me you have an SDR, I can only assume that maybe you picked up the broadcast in Italy. But when you say you're in Italy and you used a Kiwi SDR that was out of Illinois, then I know that Illinois was where the broadcast was actually picked up from. So this is a really good tool though, and it's a really good tool for people who are communicating with other people and want to know how the reception is in their areas, and you can kind of get the idea how propagation is during a particular night. and it's really helpful. And that's one of the reasons my YouTube page, YouTube channel, Wavecrest Guy, I have a lot of reception videos on there, and I'm out here in Hawaii, so I'm going to pick up things differently, or pick up some different channels or stations that other people aren't going to pick up. And certain nights they're going to come out much better than others, and you're not going to have that type of reception if you're over in Texas or on the East Coast. It's just going to be totally different. You may still get the same station even. That's definitely possible. But the reception, and depending on propagation and equipment, that's the other thing. Your equipment and your location, interference is just the part of the game, and it always has been. But as we go along with so much electrical equipment, people living in condos like myself, you have so much interference that you have to deal with. It makes it very difficult. You're also limited if you live in a condo or an apartment in a big city. You're limited to your antenna that you can use, and the antenna plays a huge part in your reception. So here I use an MLA 30 plus, and that has worked the best for me. I'm still experimenting with different antennas, but so far the MLA 30 plus, for the price has been a godsend. I pick up I pick up a lot of receptions from quite far distances with that, and I couldn't be happier with it. It's worked really, really well, and I love sitting at the dial and trying to pick up new stations. But this SDR, especially now that there's times when I'm trying to pick up my own program, or there's a lot of other programs that I do enjoy listening to, but sometimes here in Hawaii, they're being broadcast from the East Coast, and they just don't make it here good enough for me to be able to listen to. In general, I can usually hear them, but to enjoy the listening is a different story, and that's where the SDR comes in. So don't be afraid to Google SDR radio, web SDR, and check out those different locations, and do it at different times, because of course you're going to get different things being broadcast during different times. And if you're someone in the U.S. or on the west coast of the U.S. And you want to find out what they're listening to in Europe, go ahead and pick an SDR over there, and check it out, and you could do the same as you do on your regular radio. You could just be turning the dial and scanning the frequencies and see what you come up with. Really interesting. It really gives you another facet to the hobby. It's something else you can use that really makes the enjoyment factor quite a bit better. And even when you're traveling, if you can't bring a radio, if you don't have a portable radio, if you're traveling, hop on an SDR and listen that way. You're going to be able to hear some things that you wouldn't be able to hear with your regular radio. You can also try them on the SDR, pick up something while you're at home, and then hop on your radio and see if you can tune that in. That'll give you some ideas, too, of what's out there, and you can probably push the limits of your radio and see if you can get some of those stations in that you're listening to on the SDR. That's another thing to use to help you try to bring in other stations. So let me know your thoughts on SDRs, what SDRs you're using, if you're using web SDRs. Just send me the information, and we can let everybody know what everyone is using out there. And it's really important for others to understand what other people are using, and it makes it a lot easier for them to make decisions. But these SDRs are a good tool, so it'd be good for everyone to at least give them a try, and you'll be able to hear some broadcasts in some different locations that you might not be able to pick up on in the area that you're at. So send that information in. Send it to our email address at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or head on over to our website at VOSRinternational.com. Before we head over to our last segment for this month, I wanted to go over some issues that I had putting out this second broadcast. I right after the first broadcast started going out and into its first week, I ended out getting a kidney stone, and I was out of commission for quite a while. Yeah, I was out for about a month, so it took me a while to get back into the swing of things. And then with the glitches that I had, I ended up switching software for the broadcast, and so I'm going through a learning curve on that right now. So this broadcast is a little bit mixed up compared to what I wanted to do. I ended up doing the two equipment segments where I didn't actually want to do that, but just the way it worked out, it was still fine. This is going to be a work in progress. It's going to change. So it's going to have some mix-ups and stuff like that, but we'll get it down after a while. But I just want to let everybody know that, I was out of commission there for a while, and now that I'm back, I should be able to get into a routine and get a little more structure to the programming. And after this broadcast, there's only going to be one more, and I make my trip over to Kauai. And when I do that, I am going to have a segment ready for the June broadcast when I go over and visit WWVH. So I'll have some more information on that for the June broadcast. So the last segment for this month is going to be on a radio. So it'll be a radio segment. And I actually chose my second radio that I had purchased, my second shortwave radio. And so this month it's going to be the Radio Shack DX394. So if you remember from last month's broadcast, I had gotten my first shortwave, the Sea Crane Skywave SSB2. And I really love that radio, use it a lot. But I was having some problems with how small it was. It was just not comfortable to use in home as much. So I was looking for more of a desktop model. And I had always been intrigued with the Radio Shack DX394. I remember when they came out in the mid-90s. And I really liked the looks of them and listening to them actually in the Radio Shack store. I never was able to get one. They were able to, when they came out, they were right around $400, which was definitely pricey at the time. And but they were quickly marked down to about $250. So for the most part, you can get them for $250, and sometimes they would have a special or a sale where you can get 10 to 20% off or something like that. But I was never able to get one, and I still wasn't into shortwave at the time. I was living in Wisconsin, and so I just never really stepped into it yet. So that ended up being the first area that I looked at when I was looking for a desktop. I went right away to the Radio Shack DX394 and started checking it out on the used market. There's quite a bit to these little radios, and they are built off of the scanners. The scanners were a big craze back then, and so the size of them was the size of a typical good-sized scanner. And so it kind of fit right in everybody's collection and fit right on their desktops, and they were really nice size that really fit in at the time. And with these, when they came out, just like anything else, they ended out having different versions. And when they first came out, there's an A version, a B version, and a C version. So I have the earliest version. I have an A version, and mine was built in April of 1995, and you can tell that on the back of the radio. But this one, it had some issues. It wasn't the best radio. The B and C versions actually had some upgrades to them, and that definitely made them a better radio. So if you're looking for a used version, try to find a B or a C version. But the A version, you still might be able to come across. You might be able to get a good deal on some of these. A lot of times when you're looking at the used market, it's all being at the right place at the right time. I've heard some people pick these up for $5 and $10 at Goodwill or at St. Vincent's, secondhand store, garage sales, that type of thing. eBay. You'll be able to find them there. That's the good thing about eBay. They have inventory. They will have product, but it's going to be probably your highest price that you're going to pay for them. I happened to get lucky when I was looking for mine, and for the most part, they were running about $150. There were some a little bit higher than that. There was some going up to $250, but for the most part, they were running for about $150, and there was a good handful of different ones you can get. There was 5 or 6 out there that were listed, and that's in general what you're going to find. And then at times, of course, there could be more or a little bit less. I happened to get really lucky, and I saw one that had to buy it now for $50. So I ended up grabbing that right away. It had free shipping, so I got it for $50. I'm definitely really happy with that. And for that, go ahead and jump on it. Especially if you're into radios and electronics a little bit, these are pretty good radios to be able to tinker with. If you want to tinker with them, they're pretty easy. Sometimes some of these other radios, they get pretty tough just to take apart, and then once you get them apart, try to get them back together. This is a more open design, built on the scanner, the way scanners are built. So basically, the cover comes off, and everything is pretty much right there and exposed. So it's quite a bit easier to work on. And the one good thing about these radios, and especially if you have a different version, go on YouTube. Check YouTube out. There are a lot of videos out there for some modifications you can do on these. You can mod these up and make some changes to it, and really make the radio your own. And but check ahead and see what the modifications are. See if it's really useful or needed. I'm going to go over one here briefly, and it's one that I definitely heard about right away, and I really thought it was going to be a great mod. But then in looking at it, it really didn't make that much of a difference. But it was a very easy mod to make, and it was an easy mod to reverse too, if you wanted to. But first, let me go over the radio a bit. The good part about this radio is that you can still go over on the internet, Google the DX394 Radio Shack, and you'll be able to get a downloadable manual for it. So it has the original manual online, really easy to get. I'm going to have a link over on our website at VOSRinternational.com. That's VOSRinternational.com. I'll have a link there for the manual, so if anybody needs one, they can go ahead and grab that and hit the download. I'll also have some links for some YouTube links that have some of these mods that you can make on these. And it might help you out. You might be able to. It's good to even just practice, because if you can get one cheap and practice, if you're just getting into electronics, they'd be good little projects for somebody. So I'll have a few links. I'll probably at least 5 links on there for modifications you can make to this radio. So the DX394 was introduced, like I said, in 1995. And it was discontinued in 1998, and it's really hard to figure out how many radios are actually out there. But this was a really successful radio, and there are quite a few of them out there. So you will be able to find them around. Again, check the secondhand stores, and you'll be able to find something. It's going into the features a little bit. It's a really nice radio to use. It takes some getting used to, because some of the controls are a little bit different. And while I like the size of it, it's still a little bit smaller than I would really like. I would like a larger tuning knob just to make it a little bit easier. But it does have a really nice smooth tuning knob. It's got the little finger detent in there, so it is really easy to use. But some of the other controls on it are a little bit small for me, anyways. The volume control and the RF gain, they are a little small, and they're really close together too, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to easily use those. The fine tuning, again, they're all the same size, and then your selection between your sideband and AM, and switching through your frequencies. That they're all right there next to each other. It's a little cluster of four. They are a little close together. Right next to that, there's a headphone jack, so it's really convenient. And then on the right side of the tuning dial, you have your buttons. And again, the buttons, they're very good. They've held up very well. I have no issues with those, how they perform. But again, they're really close together, so it does make things a little bit hard when you're trying to, either go through the frequencies, use the memory features, that type of thing. So this does have a scanning feature where you can hit the up arrow or the down arrow. If you hold it for 2 seconds, it'll scan through whatever frequency you're on. You can either choose by band or the whole band, but you can go by a certain meter band also, and it'll just go to the first station that actually comes in. Again, when I first got into shortwave, I found that feature useful, but now I'm pretty much more just turning the dial most of the time, anyways, because that scan feature always seems to skip over some broadcasts or some stations that are coming in that aren't strong enough where it stops on it and picks it up. It's still getting it. It's a pretty sensitive radio, so it does work pretty well in that respect. But the scan feature is just, again, and it's not just on this radio, it's on most radios. I'm not using the scan feature. It also has a clock on it. It actually has 2 clocks, which is nice, and I use that on all my radios that have the feature. The only one that doesn't is the C Crane. It only has one-time setting on it. But my Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium has the 2-time settings. So I always set it up one on the local time, and then the other I set I'm listening. So if anybody else wants to hop on there, they'll be able to see that UTC time and go to the frequency, because I'm showing that on the radio. And again, you can go over to my YouTube channel at Wavecrest Guy, and I've got over 100 videos of me using this Radio Shack DX394. So there's a lot of videos out there of this radio in action. And you can check for yourself, see if it's something you might be interested in. One other thing about the radio that is not that great is the speaker. The speaker is attached to the top and comes out the top. You can hear it good enough, but it does have a small tinny type sound to it. It doesn't have any controls to it. It's not very deep. But I mean, it definitely gets the job done. But that's another one of the mods you can make. You can actually get a different speaker and mount that speaker in the chassis itself, and have an improvement there. There's also an external speaker jack which you can use, which is really handy, as long as, of course, you get yourself a good speaker. And then in the back for connections, you have your connections for your antennas. So you have one that you can use, uses the PL259 plug, and that you want to hook like a dipole antenna up onto that if you want. That's usually the best for it, and that is the low Z jack. They label it that way. They label it low Z. And then for the high Z, that uses an RCA plug to plug the antenna in. So those are the kind of plugs that you see that usually for audio video cabling that you can use. So it works good. It works much better with an external speaker. Of course, mine doesn't have the whip antenna that it came with, and that does seem to be a common thing for these. the whip antenna is usually gone on a lot of these when you do find them. Either that or else it's broke. If anybody knows of where I can get a replacement, let me know, because I'd definitely be interested in that, finding a replacement and being able to put that in there and making my radio complete. So if anybody has a source for that, send me an email, VOSRINT@yahoo.com. So one other feature this radio does have, and is typical of the era from the mid-90s, you can hook up a tape recorder to this. That was common. A lot of people used a tape recorder instead of, of course we do videos now and stuff like that. But you can hook a tape recorder up to it, and so you can record some broadcasts or whatever you were trying to get on there, some ham radio operators or whatever. It is a feature, kind of a blast from the past feature, but it does have it here where you can hook up a tape recorder to it. So now I'm going to go over a couple of or at least one of the modifications that can be done to the DX394, and this one is by far the simplest one, and it's the anti-chuffing. When you're tuning the radio, when you're spinning the tuner, as it's going and picking up different frequencies, it kind of has a little pause. It has a little as you're going through. That's my bad imitation of it, but it kind of has this hesitation, and it's irritating to many people. And honestly, it's just like the muting when tuning, that type of thing. So you get kind of that little interruption. I'm actually so used to it. Maybe it's because I don't have the older radios that didn't have that, and so I'm not used to it. I think it's one of those things that you get used to something, and it's not that big of a deal. But I know it really, really is a big irritation to many people out there. So this anti-chuffing modification is really simple, and basically all you got to do is take off the top of the radio. And I am going to post a video on this, and it's really short. I think it's only a 3 or 4 minute video. That it'll show you there's a wire there. There's a purple wire, and all you have to do is disconnect it. You can pull it out of the connector. Some people use a very, very small, like jeweler's screwdriver, and you basically bend the tab over, and then the wire pulls out. You can do it that way. Some people just clip the wire also. And the good thing about that is, both of these, any way you do it, basically, it's going to be pretty easy to put back if you want to. So if you do this modification and it's not what you thought, you don't like it as much, it's easily reversible. And that makes it a really good modification to start out with. It's not messy. There's no soldering involved, that type of thing. So if somebody just wants to get in there, take a look at the radio, find this one, and you'll be able to do this anti-chuff modification really easy. I even there is one video also out there that after it was done, the person that did it really didn't know whether they liked it or not. They really wanted to get it done. It was something that kind of really irritated them. But after the modification was done, it ended out to be not a big deal for them. And so they were kind of just, deciding whether they wanted to, just put it back or what they wanted to do. And through communication, what some people did was they ended up just putting a little, they drilled a hole in the back of the unit, and they ended out where they cut the wire. They ended up splicing a toggle switch in there. So you're able to turn that anti-chuffing on and turn it off just by flipping a switch in the back, which is actually kind of a nice little feature. It's pretty nice to be able to do that. And the good part about the video is that when you listen to it, you'll be able to hear the difference, and you'll be able to see if you think that you like that modification or not. At first when I saw the video, at first when I saw the video, I wanted to do it. It was a modification that I wanted to do. I wanted to give it a try. But then after I saw the video and saw the difference that it made, I wasn't really all that typed up on it. It really didn't make that much of a difference to me. And actually, I almost liked it the way it was better. So it's going to be a personal preference on this one, on whether you want to do this one or not. But it is a really easy one to do. And having that option where if you want to put a toggle switch on there and be able to switch back and forth between the two, it does really make it convenient. You can use solder to do that. You can use electrical tape, wing nut connectors. It is a small wire, but there's a lot of ways you can do that. And you can have this modification and then use it as you wish. It might have better applications as you use it more. Maybe when you're listening to ham or something like that, ham radios, it's something you might want to have, or when you're flipping through that band, or then again, it might not make a difference for you. But definitely check it out because it is an easy modification, and a lot of times some of these they can be pretty rough, for a beginner to do. So this one is definitely something a beginner is able to do. It's simple, and when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's really something that you should take a look at. Now, I also want to talk about antennas for my DX394. As I mentioned, mine did not come with a whip antenna, so that was not an option for me. So I knew I had to have something to be able to hook up to this. And there are a lot of, if you're good with electronics, you can make your own connectors to be able to make a bunch of different antennas work. You can also go on Amazon. There's a lot of connectors out there that you can use that will connect one type of connector to another, and kind of adapt it. What works best for me here, again in Hawaii, and I can't set up a permanent long wire or a permanent antenna to begin with, is so I'm using my MLA 30 plus, and that does work out the best. So it's worked the best for me on just about every radio that I have. My C Crane with the whip antenna does do pretty well here, but I get so much more with the MLA 30 plus, and the same thing with my Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium. That's got a really big whip to it, connected onto that. But I really do so much better with the MLA 30 plus, and it brings in so much more that I don't even mess with the whip on any of my radios. But so I ended up using a splitter for this. So I have my Grundig my Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium hooked up to it, and to the MLA 30 plus, along with the DX 394. So both of those are hooked up to the same antenna. I notice no difference when one is hooked up, whether I hook it up directly or whether I don't. I just use the regular antenna splitter and then conversions for the connectors. Works really well, and I really think on most radios, if you're talking, especially if you're talking a home radio, desktop radio, you're going to want some type of antenna that's really going to help you bring in some of these stations. So that's going to be in the future. I am going to go over the MLA 30 plus, how I have mine set up and how I use it, and just other antennas in general, because I've tried quite a few antennas living here in a condo. So, but definitely, you get a Radio Shack DX394, get an external antenna, and try to do the best you can with that, and you'll be able to bring it's a really sensitive radio, so you'll be able to bring in some pretty good stations with that. And I do actually do pretty well bringing in some ham operators on it also. So that's going to close out the segment on the Radio Shack DX394 model radio. Communicate with me. Let me know if you've got one. If you've always wanted one, I hear that a lot. A lot of people always wanted one of these Radio Shack DX394s. So I have heard that a lot. But let me know if you got one. Let me know if you've done the modifications and what modifications you've done. Let me know if you're listening to this broadcast on your Radio Shack DX394. I know there's a lot of these out there. A lot of these are still in use. I know there's a lot of them in closets too that aren't being used. So take a look out there, and you might be able to find one. But let me know. Send me an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT at yahoo.com. Check out the website because I'm going to have some information, some links to my videos for that I have on the Radio Shack DX394. I'll have links to those mods, and I'll have the download for the manual that you'll be able to grab on there also. So go over to VOSRinternational.com. That's VOSRinternational.com. So that concludes this month's edition of VOSR International. Until next month, ahoy ho, everyone.